Hey, Studholme, you with us?
Yo,
Hi all.
hey
I've
buddy.
just sent my 20 sol to DAOs.fun. This is
Let's
the
go.
start. It's the start of
20
ICM.run.
souls. Save some aloe for us, man. Come on.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I mean
Yeah.
Messi's there with his 42. Yeah, I'm so excited about this. I remember speaking to Messi how many weeks ago now? It was
It's been a few
we've been
months, I
chatting
think.
about
Actually,
IC.
it's been a
Yeah,
few
and
months. Indirectly, I would consider, whether you realize it or not, I consider a lot of your previous work as ICM. I think it was just like I think like a lot of the AI utility startups that like tokenize on chain. They're just you're ICM. That is 100% like the distribution rails that you built to like bring your products to market and your tokens to market are the exact same distribution rails that most new ICM teams are going to have to learn about. You know what I mean, and figure out too.
Yeah, I think when it comes to some of the most vocal mentors, Studholme's got to be one of them. Like his name's popping up everywhere I go. It's in the comments. It's active. We'd love to hear a bit more from you on what you've worked on, what your like areas of expertise are, and what you're really focused and excited to pioneer with ICM Run.
Dude, you
yeah,
guys at
I'm all
least let
in.
me give him an. I got to give Studhome an intro, man. Like
Give
he did. I
I
got
thought
to. I
that's what
got
you
to.
were did just a second ago.
Oh no. We like that's just that. So for what it's worth, Mark is like in the people I've met in crypto, he's easily the best like professional relationship I've actually connected with in the past year at all. Like the speed of moving, like his intuitiveness, his earliest to market. He built some really early technology that like most teams now are realizing how is important, which is basically built pre-stage like distributable Cato tech, distributable cookie.fun tech, way before people even realized that Cato was going to be a falling giant or Cookie was going to be a falling giant. And again, he's been somebody I've trusted with working on his projects he's worked on. He's been a mentor to me. I consider Studholme a mentor to me. Someone I've been really just enjoyed working with, helped guide me through some of my professional components of the business I'm building right now. Dude's a fucking legend, really well connected too, for what's worth. Dude's an animal on people capital, absolute animal on people capital. I'm really stoked to work with him around like tokenized equity on chain. There's gonna be a lot of stuff we'll be exploring on that together. I'll let him talk about his professional background prior to crypto, but I can also tell you that he isn't just somebody who joined crypto this past year. He built like one of the largest ICO platforms where he's from, back when that wasn't just like as easy as spinning up a launch pad is now. You know what I mean? So like very early to a lot of this technology. But dude, I'm so stoked that you're here on board. I think you're transaction one, for what it's worth. I think you're literally transaction number one on the
Let's
raise.
go.
So welcome aboard, my friend.
I was trying to do that before I came on the stream so that I could commit. Thanks for that amazing intro, Mizzy. It's been a pleasure working with you since maybe was it September, October last year, especially around the AI meta time. What I'm so excited about with ICM.run. So I built one of the first ICO platforms back in 2017 in the Netherlands and been in crypto since 2014. I was a victim of like the 2008 recession. Decentralized ownership of assets is exactly why I've been in crypto and Web3. Unfortunately, the ICO, I think the problem with ICOs at the time in 2017 was it was this narrative that blockchain will solve everything, right? And it was about the blockchain technology. I'm really excited about ICMs because this is now a moment where it's decentralized ownership of assets and making it incredibly easy for the little person to rise up. And that decentralized and more democratized ownership of assets is really what I'm excited about. And so my history is I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years, had multiple companies, raised from VCs, done multiple accelerators, been part of incubators, sat around board meetings with VCs, and raised through crowdfunding, raised equity through crowdfunding, done safeties, and this with ICM and especially with the mechanics, the Believe.app, the flywheel mechanics, the idea that you can self fund now a project purely through fees. Token holders don't need to be worried about you selling your tokens as long as you have some attention on your project, really is kind of full circle where blockchain and crypto, how it was founded, really, right? It was like how Bitcoin was founded was decentralizing money. And now we're here so many years later, and this space is always evolving, it's constantly evolving. But this is like, for me, where we should be evolving to. I'm not a meme guy. I was always in it really for that decentralized ownership of quality projects and assets. And that's also real world assets.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's fantastic. And something Mercy said before you kind of started talking is that you're going to be really interested in the tokenizing equity side of things. Can you, I mean, tell us how why you qualify to maybe like be in that region, or like how did you stumble upon that kind of role?
Yeah, so I've raised with my current token, I raised from like Animoca Brands, DCG. I've raised funding from some of the top VCs. I brought out a token and had and set up different entities in different jurisdictions. I'm actually based in Europe, but as a founder and setting that up and setting that structure up is really hard. I think, and especially having a token. I had a token back in 2021 that was very like 2021 tokenomics, right? It was raising from big VCs, retail were kind of like the exit liquidity, and now
Can you name it? Can you name it?
Yeah, Matrix One. Yeah, it's out. It's still there. So
okay, yeah.
And I'm now in the process of basically relaunching that token in a far more fair launch. But having seeing kind of how you actually create your tokenomics and how that can be fair, I set about this mission that this can be improved a lot more, that we can actually give, coming back to that original mission where early, decentralized ownership and giving the little man the opportunity to be part of these projects. That's what I really believe in. And I think tokenizing equity, I'm actually really excited about, because you can actually give projects the opportunity to be acquired if they represent their equity as tokens, and that could go very quickly. And I've gone through that process multiple times with previous projects that I've started, and it's really painful. So I think it's going to be a really interesting experiment to do some first projects where they're actually up for the taking, right? They could be acquired if someone decides to take a certain amount of the token that represents the equity. So I'm working right now. I've introduced some really interesting, let's say a really interesting legal team to the ICM.Run ecosystem. So they'll be helping advise projects too. And I'm working with them on my own project on how we can actually tokenize the equity to leave it there as an option, more protection for investors, but also leave it out as an option that any project could be acquired. I think that's quite a fun experiment.
Yeah, I mean, we absolutely have not seen that yet to date. So, like, if ICM Run and you are the two people kind of pioneering this, that would be incredible. I guess my next question would kind of be, how do you feel about when people say, well, equity is kind of like the old model, and we're moving into a model where you get something like Hyperliquid, where 100% of revenue or roughly is going towards buybacks, and it's relatively the same thing but a different model. Do you agree with that future or not?
I think it's a gray area, right? It's a middle ground, and we're slowly moving, hopefully, to a fully digital tokenized world, but we're not quite there yet. And there's definitely some things that like equity represents that you can't represent in a token per se, and especially, for example, certain courts or certain like legal jurisdictions, which are really interesting to bigger parties. For example, if you want to list your token on a central exchange, you need to have an entity. But then, do you need a central exchange anymore? I listed on Gate and I listed on Mexi, but did I really need them? No, into most of the volumes on a DEX now, which
Mhm.
which I think is a better thing. You know, again, more decentralized ownership of those assets.
You know, the only question I have is, do you think the current investor base on Solana is ready to like undertake what comes with private equity and that whole world? It's like much vastly different from what we're used to right now on chain.
I think are they ready? I mean, there's going to be some investors that are ready, yeah, for sure. But let's say I do think, and I think the Solana Foundation and Solana themselves are doing a great job in moving towards more the serious, longer term investor. And obviously, what Believe are doing, I'm following what Believe are doing. I'm an investor in Launchcoin. I do believe that they're trying to change the mindset for investors to hold tokens longer and hold and invest in projects, which is essentially what equity is. It's a commitment, right? Because you're committing to buy that equity in a legal entity. Stuff that legal entities can give you is, you know, you can get loans. You can get loans against the equity. You can protect the investors. There could be, you know, a takeover. There's certain things that you can do with the assets and the IP within the entity, which the solutions are not 100% there yet on chain, but they're getting there. They're getting there.
This is such a fascinating conversation because it's such a gray, like completely nothing we've seen done on chain. And so I'll be like super excited to just watch your journey specifically, and then how that pairs with ICM Run. I know we got a few people waiting, so I think Studholme we're probably going to rotate, but please jump back on at any time once we're kind of a little more open and chilling, and let's just talk shop if you have time.
Thanks, guys. Speak soon.
Thanks for coming on.